Hey guys, Erin here with LaCkore Couture, and today we're going to be talking about don't panic, how to get a ring off your swollen finger. But before we do that, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and let's get right into it. So first of all, I feel like we've all been there where our hands get super swollen. Maybe we ate too much salt the night before, or for me personally, like when I walk around a theme park, for example, like when me and my family go to Disney and we walk around and my hands are just like hanging for a long time, my hands always get so swollen. I don't know if it's a combination of the heat and just like all the exercise, I don't really know, but either way, my hands always swell up and I always have an issue getting my ring off. So over the years, I have come up with a few really easy ways to help get that ring off without having to go to the hospital and getting it cut off, without having to call an ambulance, or without having to go to a jeweler and cut it off. Now, obviously, in very extreme cases where you're losing circulation in your finger, stop watching this video and immediately call for help. But I'm going to show you a few things and a few little tricks you could try at home that hopefully will save you a trip to the hospital and won't ruin your ring. All right, so let's start with the easiest things first. I'm sure you've already tried this, but I would definitely say go wash your hands with like a really good soap, like a Dawn soap or something like that, and really get that soap in between your ring and your finger. Really get in there, wash really good, and try your best to pull it off. Now, one thing I would recommend is making sure that the drain is plugged up, so this way your ring, if it does slip off really fast from the soap, that it does not go down the drain, because that would not be fun. So definitely try soap first. If that does not work, go ahead and try like a Vaseline or any type of lubricant to give it like a good slip on there. So for me, I live in North Carolina. My hands are always dry because I wash my hands so much. So I use like this little Vaseline stick on my knuckles and it just really helps. Anyway, side note, but I would take this, rub it all the way around the ring, and then just really do your best to work it out. This typically for me does the trick. But if it doesn't, keep watching and learn a few more tricks. Okay, so let's say that you tried washing your hands, you tried the Vaseline, nothing is working. I would then recommend using some sort of hand lotion, and this typically will really get in there and help with that slip that you're looking for. You want to really mush it in between, and don't worry about your rings. That is not priority when you're in this type of situation. You can always have them cleaned after, but you really want to get in there, mush it in as much as possible to try to get as much slip that you can between your ring and your finger. So again, we've tried soap, that didn't work. We tried lubricant, that didn't work. And now we're on to lotion, which is also a type of lubricant. But anyway, so keep watching. We're going to do a few more tricks. So most of you know that when your hands are swollen, typically they feel like pretty hot, or maybe you were outside and it was really hot and your hands just really got really swollen in the heat. I mean, for me, that happens all the time when I'm in the heat. My hands just retain so much salt in my hands, and my fingers literally, I always say they turn into like little sausages. So anyway, if you're in this situation and you go to wash your hands with the soap, or you go to wash your hands, don't use hot water. Why? The hot water is going to continue to allow that inflammation and the swelling to happen. So I highly recommend using ice cold water, and even maybe doing like a bowl of ice with cold water and then just like dunking your hands in there for a few minutes, because essentially what you're doing is you're shocking your fingers, you're shocking, the swelling in there, and hopefully helping that inflammation go down. Like for example, if you fall or you get a bruise, what's the first thing you do? You go to get an ice pack to help with the swelling, to keep the swelling down. The same theory and principle with your fingers. If they're swollen, super hot, you want to submerge them in very cold water to help shrink the swelling, and that should help loosen it up enough with the lotion, with the soap, and to really just get that ring right off your finger. Okay, now here's one more trick before you have to call a jeweler or before you have to go to the ER. And all it is, everybody should have this in your bathroom already. Get a little bit of floss. So I'm gonna grab my floss. I'm gonna cut off a pretty good amount. It's better to have a little bit more to work with. Now, let's pretend that my ring is super tight on my finger, okay? So I'm gonna take this floss and I'm gonna work it under my rings, okay? Now, you're gonna need some sort of tool. It could be a nail file, it could be a small little scissor, something really, really thin and tiny that you can help. It will help you push the floss between your finger and the really tight ring. So for example, I'm gonna try to show you guys. Hold up, spin around. So I'm gonna put this here. And I'm gonna see how it's tight and it won't go through. I'm going to take whatever tool it is that you're gonna use and push it under to get it through. Okay, see it's under? I'm gonna pull some through. Now obviously yours is gonna be a lot tighter because it's gonna be way more swollen. And you're gonna hold this piece that's on the bottom part, and then you're gonna take the excess, wrap it as tight as you can around your knuckle to really help that swelling of the knuckle, because typically it won't go over the swelling and the knuckle. That's where it's really tight. So you want to shrink down the knuckle as much as you can with that dental floss. Wrap it, wrap it, wrap it. Okay, now what you're gonna do is that string that was on the under part that you pulled through with the tool, you're gonna take that string and you're actually gonna use that to unravel your ring. So, just like this. As you can see, I made it over the knuckle and it's off. This is a great, easy, non-surgical way to remove your ring at home. And I would definitely try some of the other methods first, but I will tell you that even doctors use the dental floss method. So always keep a little spool of floss on hand just in case, because you never know when you're gonna have a ring emergency. And if all else fails, then you can use a plier. If you're like, it's urgent, you cannot wait, your finger is turning totally purple, you obviously do not want to lose your finger and get it amputated. So use a plier, or not a plier, excuse me, a wire cutter to get in there. Try your best to not cut your finger, obviously. And even if you could just loosen it, if you can't cut it through all the way, do something to relieve some of that pressure and to allow your finger to breathe a little bit better. This, I would definitely ask for assistance. If no one's home, then obviously you're gonna have to try it on your own. But again, you have so many different methods before you feel like you have to go to the hospital. We're gonna try soap, lotion, Vaseline. We're gonna do the dental floss trick. We're gonna submerge our hands in cold water, maybe do all of the above. And if all else fails, rush to the jeweler, rush to the hospital, because a ring is never worth losing your finger. Hopefully after watching this video, your ring is off of your finger and you're ready to check out some of my handmade jewelry. You can check that out in the description and the links below to help support the channel. And if you want to learn more about fashion, fun, jewelry, tips, and all things LaCkore Couture, make sure you click one of the videos above me, and I'll see you guys in the next one.